Thanks to the support as a channel member, Gordon Barry. Well, it's been a slightly iffy start to the new season so far. In addition to that defeat to Manchester City we saw yesterday, we failed to beat Leipzig in our first Champions League group game. We need to just do two big wins today. That's what we're looking for. 2 big wins, back on track, dominant team. It's not a crisis. We're still second in the Premier League and doing fine, but we're not completely dominant. And I don't care for it. Hello, welcome to Club 4, part 46 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 games for you. One in the Champions League against Standard and one in the Premier League against Aston Villa. Since you were last with me, this is what has gone on. I mentioned the draw we had against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. We also struggled to navigate past Tottenham in the EFL Cup, albeit with a rotated side, and laboured to get past Watford in the Premier League. So although things are looking relatively good, we are second in the Premier League behind a Manchester City team who've won 6 from 6 and will surely start to wobble at some point. I really hope they're not coming back with a vengeance after the last couple of years. But we're looking fine, second in the Premier League. But things just don't feel like they're flowing. The team's taking a little bit of time to settle in, which is weird because we didn't do loads of transfers. Team cohesion's very good. Everything's looking good on dynamics. Morale is good across the board. There's not really an obvious reason why we should be not dominant when we were so dominant last year, but hopefully it's just one of those spells that teams go through sometimes, and we're about to get back to our old ways today with a big win against Standard Liège. That's what we're looking for here. So Hoy and Hal in goal for this match. Tipple, Fernandez, Knoll and Pavia are the back 4. Navarro at the base of the midfield. Tonali and Bindi in centre mid. Schultz behind Pedro Luis and Delgado. We have got a few injuries going on, particularly in defence. Dinamarco, Erenur, Mura, all injured, and Caio Caesar as well, of course, has been out for quite a long time now. Padron, who is another one who could play in a defensive position, also injured. So we're close to bare bones when it comes to defenders. Tipple's having to play at left back. The only other option there was Max Aarons. The only backup defender we've got outside of Aarons is Romero. So if we get an injury at centre-back, it is problematic because even the backup, which would be Padron, is injured. So it would be a case of playing someone like Navarro or Tonali at centre-back if one of our centre-backs got injured, or realistically probably Tipple or Aarons would go there. And we'd bring one of the extra fullbacks on, maybe. I don't really know what the plan is. You know what? Here's the plan. Let's not get any more injuries to defenders. It seems to be a little bit of a theme in this series. We had this a couple of years ago when we had the plan and revolutionised the way defences were built at football clubs the world over, or at least at Norwich. We did it. I did it clever, and then it didn't work. And now it seems to be. It's always a problem when you get 2 or 3 injuries back there because you're losing your backup players in multiple positions. Then. If Fernandez is playing centre-back, he can't really be covering full-back on either side. It is the drawback to the system. Mura and Erenur, or they can both play centre-back and both play left-back. If they're both injured, you lose a lot of players in a lot of positions. So Tipple, forward to Tonali, who plays it out to Schultz, who's hit that first time. An audacious effort from Schultz. Shouldn't really be attempting it from that kind of range. I mean, the fact that we've had 16 shots, only 3 on target, suggests that quite a few of them have been a little bit shot happy today when perhaps they could. It's like they're snatching at things a little bit. You saw it there with Schultz. If he'd just taken a minute just to compose himself, the way Delgado's done there. I mean, Delgado's showing why he's the best striker in the world, because he's just, rather than snatching at that as it's coming over his shoulder, you can see it on the replay. He gives himself time to shape himself up properly to take the proper shot. It's the difference, I guess, between a striker and not a striker. He could have hit it there, but instead, he's let it bounce in the penalty area, which their defenders should not have done. But he's let it bounce, teed himself up properly for it, and then it's easy peasy. Lovely technique from Delgado, and he's timed his run perfectly there as well. I mean, that's just all-round very good football. That it helps that he's as quick as he is, because it's allowed him to let the ball go past him and then run onto it, which perhaps a slower player doesn't have that option anyway. But ultimately, it is 1-0 to us. We've been completely dominant but we are only 1-0 up. And this is exactly what I was talking about before. This has been the story of the last few matches. We seem to be playing well, but we're not getting the goals as the reward. Delgado, who averaged a goal a game all last year, is only getting a goal every other game. I mean, only a goal every other game. Pedro Luis isn't really firing. I mean, he doesn't anymore. I mean, it's not really his role since Delgado's arrived. He's obviously the creative force now. We're happy with 15 goals a season from Pedro Luis now, because his main role is to make Delgado look even better than he is. But we're not really getting anybody who's scoring loads of goals. This time last year, we had Schultz scoring almost a goal a game, and it's just, we need one of them to step up and just have a purple patch. And I think that's the thing. No individual is currently in an exceptional run of form, and that makes it more difficult for us to steamroller over teams the way we have at times in the past. Pedro Luis doing some really good work there to keep this attack going. Tipple passes it across to Navarro, and now Tipple looking for the cross but can't get it away. We should probably be checking in on what's going on in the other match. Atletico 2-0 up over Leipzig. Delgado's taking the short corner here. Schultz aiming for that far post, but he's not giving it enough welly to find Fernandez. And once again, it's in the hands of the goalkeeper, and what looked like an opportunity ends up not being an opportunity. And now Standard are coming at us. And if they get, I mean, they could quite easily grab an equaliser here. And then if we end up first 2 games in the Champions League, no win, we're supposed to be trying to win this competition this year. We got to the semi-finals last year. We should be able to blow past Standard Liège with our reserves. Tipple playing it forward to Pedro Luis. Back to Tipple again. And then Pedro Luis in behind, squares it to Delgado, gets a very fortuitous deflection from the defender that actually puts it right into the path of Delgado. And he is there to tuck away his second of the game. And this is what he needed. Couple of goals under his belt. Get a bit more confidence into him. Get him firing again. And take this form into the league then. That deflection was so useful. Although, to be fair, I imagine Delgado gets there anyway because he's Delgado and he does tend to usually get there. Wherever there is, he can usually get there. Pedro Luis again looking to spray the ball over to Paviot. What a pass from him. What a player he's turned into from the just pacey striker, just goal scorer that he was when he arrived. He's blossoming into a modern day Dennis Bergkamp, and it's beautiful to see. And it is now 3-0 up. And look at that pass. I mean, it might be time to say, look, Pedro Luis, you are now officially a complete forward, and let him run 3 doing that. But he plays so well as this deep lying forward. I find that the deep lying forward links up with the midfield better than a complete forward does. Even a complete forward on support doesn't drop as deep as I want Pedro Luis dropping, which is why we leave him on this role. And there is Delgado's hat trick, and finally we're piling a bunch of goals on a team. 4-0 now, hat-trick for Delgado. I think we can probably safely take him off at this point, give him a little bit of a rest. And Bindi could do with a little rest as well. So let's take Bindi off. Janusek can come on for him. We'll take Delgado off because his work here is done for today. Sione can come on and get 20 more minutes. And it allows Pedro Luis to just have 20 minutes of fun being a striker again. And now we've got the centre-back issue. I am going to take Ivan Fernandez off because we can't risk leaving him on, really, because we can't risk an injury to him. Max Aarons is not able to play centre-back, and he's 5'7". Paviot's 5'10" and no experience playing centre-back. Tipple, I think he's probably going to be the one who we move over there because he's Etienne Tipple and he can play everywhere. Unless we drop... They're all short. They're all little. Why are they all little? We don't have any full-size players in this team anymore. There we go. Tipple can play centre-back. Aarons can go into left-back. At 4-0 up, I think we can probably get away with Tipple playing centre-back. And I love the fact that he's just Mr. Versatility. There's always going to be a spot in this squad for Etienne Tipple because he can play everywhere. Janusek to Aarons now. Is this his first taste of Champions League football? I think it might be. I don't think he came on against Leipzig. I guess he might have had a bit of a Champions League run at some point during his 10 years at Leicester. I wasn't paying that close attention, but Max Aarons playing in the Champions League for Norwich. What a lovely old thing. And I think we've got a penalty here. Pedro Luis has been fouled. The question is whether it was inside the area or not, I think. And it looks like it was. And it's going to be Schultz, hopefully, grabbing a goal for himself and getting him firing for this season. Colin Schultz to make it 5. And he doesn't score. So his slow start to this season continues with a missed penalty. He's going straight over to take the corner. And because we've got no big boys left, we're not going to be much of a threat from these set pieces anymore either. Navarro's picked up a yellow card. We've utterly dominated the match. But once again, questions. I mean, Tipple, he's trying his hardest there, but he's 5'9". You know, he's not going to be winning headers. He's probably not played at centre-back since he was a kid. He's 5'9", and he's being asked to play centre-back in the Champions League. I know it's against a team that we're comfortably beating, but still, he is going to miss the odd header, I would suggest. Navarro to Schultz. Janusek playing it into Tonali now, I think this is the first time we've played him in a more advanced role rather than at the base of the midfield. We might have done it once in the Premier League. And there's Pedro Luis, and there's a goal for him as well. 8 for the season. I was talking before about him not scoring very many goals yet this year. If that's his 8th goal, he's gone under the radar a little bit as the Pedro Luis of old. I'm not going to be happy with 15 goals for him this season if he's already on 8 by September? I need to check that these statistics are legit and that I'm not being lied to. But there's your full-time whistle at 5-0. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And Pedro Luis does only have the 3 goals in the... Yeah, that's his 4th. I mean, how is that his 8th then? He's scored 3 in the league and none in the Cup or the Champions League yet. So it's literally his 4th goal of the season, not his 8th. I didn't think it's... I thought the game had made me look like an idiot there, but no. In actual fact, I've made the game look like an idiot. In your face, Football Manager. The usual shuffle of trying to get fit players into the team and unfit players out of the team again for Aston Villa. Dinamarco is fit to come back into the team, so he's back in at centre-back. But Fernandez has now got tired little legs, as has Paviot and Tonali. So we're shuffling things around a little bit. Romero coming in for a rare start at right back. Shepherd's going to partner Bindi in midfield, and we're going to keep a close eye on the front 3, who haven't had much of a rest lately. But as you can see by recent form, Delgado and Pedro Luis in particular are really starting to fire. So we want to, keep them together, play them back into form. Aston Villa ordinarily would feel like a fairly straightforward game, but looking at the league table, I know it's early days. Villa are actually in 4th place in the league at the moment. So a slip up here lets them into this title push that we're a part of. It's a very strange top 4 behind Manchester City. Norwich, Fulham and Aston Villa making up the rest of the top 4 at the moment. Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea are all chasing. But the Premier League, the further we get into the future, is getting weirder and weirder. But, I mean, I'm very much happy to be a part of the weirdness. Half an hour gone, nothing's happened yet. We're going to offer a little bit of encouragement. This is, it's looking like it's going to be another example of... not much happening, but hopefully we'll grind out a result. Pedro Luis playing it across to Tipple, and now Shepherd and Schultz and Romero, who, point to prove today for Romero as a homegrown at club player. If he can force his way back into this team ahead of Paviot, that would be super duper. World Cup winner Paviot. Tipple showing that it doesn't matter what position he plays on the pitch, he's still going to be a goal threat. With just he swung his leg at it from the edge of the area, playing left back today. And it has ended up in the back of the net right on the stroke of half-time, which is, as they tell me, quite a good time to score. First time hit as well. I say he swung his leg at it. I'm not giving him any credit there. That's excellent technique. He's kept his knee over the ball. There's no aimless swinging of leg there. That's just excellent technique for a first-time volley. So he's just a very good footballer. Dinamarco's actually settling into the team better than I expected him to. I didn't anticipate him getting as much game time as he has. But he looks like he's been here for years. So that's a nice little signing to slot in. And Delgado with the breakaway goal. And Villa are going to feel a little bit harshly done by here. 44 minutes and 55 seconds come by. And it's still 0-0. They're going in at half-time 2-0 down. Thanks to 2 goals. I won't say against the run of play, but we probably don't deserve to be 2-0 up after that first half, where we have an XG, even after scoring 2 goals, an XG of 0.18, which that's some pretty impressive stuff. Shows how good the individual technique was from both of the players to create goals from situations where they probably didn't have any right to be scoring. It's the opposite of the problem I was describing earlier in the video. Tipple on the left-hand side, playing Shepherd in, cuts it back to Pedro Luis. I mean, he looked like Thierry Henry there. The way he shaped his body and just side-footed that in. The whole world thinks he's going far post, and he just side-foots it in at the near post, past the goalkeeper. I keep talking about Delgado as the best striker in the world. I think we need to rephrase it. Delgado and Pedro Luis are the best strike partnership in the world. As a front two, these two are exceptional. Sione is classed as an elite striker, according to his media description. Can't get in the team. We get Schultz back up to his best as well, and these front three are right up there with some of your greatest front threes in history, as far as I'm concerned. Tipple coming down this left-hand side again. He looks like a very good left-back. We don't play him there very often. It was what we signed him to do originally, and he's getting a little run playing there at the moment with the injuries to everyone else, and he looks really good at it. Delgado has got it in the back of the net again. Question marks around whether this is offside. It has been disallowed on VAR. I mean, Villa don't know what's hit them here. It's been 8 minutes of game time. We've had the ball in the back of the net four times in a match where nothing was really happening. It's the definition of us just going up a gear as back-to-back champions and just saying, look, Villa, yeah, okay, you're quite good. We are just going to step things up just a notch, though. See, the power of that encouragement that we did on about 35 minutes. Villa do have a goal back here. 3-1, 55 minutes gone. I'm not worried. We'll be fine. It'll all be fine. Ball over the top, and it's Diego Nol who's just, I mean, he is the weak link these days. He's playing because he has to play, because all of the other defenders are injured, like we were talking about before. I don't expect Nol to be here long term, which is a shame, because he was very much part of the revolution at Norwich. But several of the other guys who were part of the revolution have moved on this summer. I think Noel was quite lucky to escape being moved on. If I'd have really thought about it, I'd probably have kept Salinas, who was homegrown, and let Noel go. But we obviously moved on Zamorano, we moved on Gilberto Carlos. These are players who were key to getting us where we are, but might not be good enough to take us where we want to go. Right, substitution o'clock. Schultz still not really with it this season. Yedro can have 20 minutes to see if he can offer us something a little bit different. We'll take Delgado off again. In fact, we're going to take off both of the strikers. We said we were going to keep an eye on them. So we'll just take them both off just to rest them up a little bit for a few minutes. Mainly because I don't want Casolare to think that we've forgotten about him. I love Vincenzo Casolare more than I've ever loved a fourth choice striker before. It's brilliant. He's played 12 times for Italy now and has his first goal for Italy. So, you know, he's a proper, like, top-level player. Just, I'll talk about him all day long, because the strength in depth that the fact that he exists demonstrates is wonderful. We've got 4 excellent strikers. It's like your Manchester United team from the treble year with just 4 equally good options. You can just rotate them out at will. It's beautiful. Obviously, we'll play the best two most of the time, but so did Man United. Goodness me. There you go. 2 wins, 2 comfortable wins. It's exactly what we needed. It's exactly what we came into the episode wanting. And Manchester City have won 7 from 7 and look utterly unstoppable at the moment. They're going to be a problem. They seem to be back under Jurgen Klopp, who I think has been there a long time. They've shown a lot of faith in Jurgen Klopp. Over 6 years there now. To let him, after all that dominance, to let him go 2 years without winning the league, rebuild and come back stronger, which is what they've done. I'm quite impressed with the AI. Less impressed about what the implication is for us of all that, but we'll figure it out. It'll be all right. Tomorrow, I think we're probably going to play Atletico and Manchester United, because that looks like a pretty juicy double header. So we'll have that tomorrow and hopefully still be well in contention in both of these competitions. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.